Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2024 Toyota Tundra hybrid vehicle, four-wheel drive in the Platinum Crewmax trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 265/60 Bridgestone tires wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a gloss gray finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is Lunar Rock, which is a pretty cool name. But it looks like the same type of color that a lot of other vehicles have or had in 2024. It's like that battleship type gray that it just seemed like it got overly popular in 2023, 2024 year models. But it looks pretty cool in this vehicle. Now it has a pretty cool grille, so it has like a dark chrome large grille with active grille shutters behind it. Also it has like that blue around the badge there, I guess to emphasize that it is a hybrid vehicle. It has the adaptive cruise control sensor here, and then it has the parking sensors across the front. And the fog lights are right in here, a triple LED, and then you have a quad LED projector here for the headlights. And I have a night video for the Tundra. It's not this exact vehicle, but I do have, kind of shows the headlights and all the different lights at nighttime, showing you how well they work and everything, if you want to check it out. Now it has these plastic pieces up here, and they just look a little bit tacked on to me. It does show the iForce Max, but I don't know, the hood's overly, sticking out, and then you add those on top when you're driving, it just kind of looks like they're a little tacked on. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, what you think of them. And then you have these, it's kind of interesting because it has this wheel cladding right here, and it's like a semi-gloss, I guess you can say. But it doesn't, usually cladding is intended to protect the paint from road debris, but it has these little spaces right here that are open right where the road debris would actually sling on the vehicle. It leaves that open. Now, I don't see any kind of like problems with the paint or anything, but it just kind of seems odd to have that. I mean, it looks cool, but as far as like practical, I don't know, maybe it is fine. It has a gloss black trim there. And then you see more here of that kind of semi-gloss black. Now this one has the handles that are body colored, but you can see it also includes some black surfaces here. And then you have that two-tone side mirror. And then you have this front pillar, which is a matte black, kind of separating it from the bottom. And so the key is a full proximity key, of course, and has a sensor behind the handle and then the lock sensor there on the top. So it's really easy to just put your hand there and lock the vehicle. It does have the power deployed side steps. When you open up the door, it pops out there, which can help some people. I tend to like bump my leg on it because I forget it's there. And yeah, I mean, it helps and everything, but you just got to get used to it that it's going to like pop out and stick out really far. So the inside of the door here, not like super impressive materials, just has like a vinyl type material, has the blue stitching, hard plastics, little storage shelf there and at the bottom. And then the passenger seat does have a four-way lumbar adjustment, as well as the ability to go up and down and tilt and all that stuff. Has the leather seats with the little blue stitching, looking pretty cool. They are heated and ventilated. And decent amount of legroom here. More stitching here on the dash. Does have a locking glove compartment. A little shelf in there. So yeah, this is all soft touch, kind of like vinyl material. Does have the handle here. This one does have the huge sunroof as well. So you can see the opening and everything here is plenty of room. Same thing here in the back. So yeah, back here, the swing of the door is nice, and you're able to get basically in the back door a little bit, about the same, I guess, maybe a little bit better than the front. And the back door, very similar styling as the front. We do have a retractable shade that you can extend out if you'd like. And the back seat is basically a bench seat. It does have the armrest with cup holders here. You see right there. And the hybrid battery is underneath the back seats. So there's no way to store anything under here. There's mat pockets on the back of these seats. Huge hump in the center, so we don't have the flat floor or anything like that. We do have powered and cooled seats back here, as well as USB ports, USB-A, USB-C, and a power inverter for 100 watts. Yeah, there we go, 400 watts when the vehicle is running and 100 watts when it's not running. You have some cup holders there. So looking at the back of the vehicle, it does have the parking sensors back here, the tow hitch, the 4- and 7-way outlets, which are above the bumper, which is nice. Now it has these reverse lights that are right in here. And they're kind of in this inner spot where if you have a trailer that you're connected to, then it is going to block some of this light. So you're able to see the connection well, you're gonna see the trailer well. But as far as backing up, looking at your side mirrors, it's gonna block some of the light there. So I wish they had at least a secondary one on the outer portion or something like that where the taillights are, where they normally are. But yeah, it's something to consider. The backup camera is here. There's also a light right here as well. So there's the camera, there's the light. And it has this like a soft landing to the tailgate, but it also has this little step. So watch this. Watch right in here. There's a little step that pops out and it's powered. So it goes in and out powered. So if I drop the tailgate, this will pop out like that. So that way we can jump up in the bed of the truck easy. So it's a power deployable little step there. And then we have a composite bed. You have permanent tie downs here and on the front. And then you also have this cleat system here, where you can put in a movable tie down there on across the bed, the front of the bed, and then the sides. You also have these little divider places. You can put like a 2x4, 2x6, that kind of stuff to divide up the area just in case you need that. And then there's the power inverter here, just like we saw on the back seat, 3-prong, and once again 400 watts or 1,000 or 100 watts, depending on if the vehicle's running or not. Then you can see the cargo lights there, bed lights, some on the back of the cab. There's also cameras on the back of the cab as well, because it has a rear view camera in addition to the rear view mirror, and also a cargo camera as well. We'll look at that when we get on the inside. And then when we lift this up, that will automatically go back in place. Kind of neat. It has a locking fuel door. Press and hold that button, and it's here on the driver's side, and has a traditional cap, tether, and a place to hang the cap here as well. There's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, and footrest. Let's take a look under the hood. There's a latch right here in the center to lift it up. Pretty easy. And hood doesn't go up that far. I guess if it did, it'd be hard to pull it back down because you wouldn't be able to reach it necessarily. But yeah, we have a hybrid powertrain here, and you can see those orange cables everywhere. 17 miles per gallon is what I've been getting. You can see if that's useful to you as far as fuel economy. So this is a twin turbo V6 hybrid, and it's able to put out 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And it's a four-wheel drive system that has the on-demand four-wheel drive, as well as different controls there for locking it into full-time and then part-time four-wheel drive system. Driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So it does have the ability to power fold the side mirrors, lock, unlock, one touch up and down windows, 2 presets for the power seat here for the driver. There's also a thigh extension here, so we can pop that out if we need to. And then we have the normal controls with 4-way lumbar adjustment, heated and cooled seats back here as well, or up in here, all seats basically in this vehicle. To the left of the steering column, you have the ability to turn off the automatic side steps. You can have them out all the time, off, which is in all the time, or automatically when you open up the door. Heated steering wheel is over here. turn on the power inverter is here. You also have the parking sensors off, default will be on. Reset the trip, dimmer switch for the interior gauges, release the fuel door, which we already saw, automatic high beams here, and also the cargo lights, which you can turn on, off, or have them turn on with the door in that center position. There's also a power tilt and telescoping steering column. When the vehicle's running, it'll power tilt it. So sitting in the driver's seat, there's plenty of room up here. This console is a little bit wide, but so it kind of feels like, even though you're in a large vehicle, you still feel a little bit confined. You know, more than what I would think in a vehicle this big, right? But yeah, there's still enough room to drive and feel comfortable and everything. The seat kind of bottoms out in the center, so it's not like the most comfortable, cushy seat. And you know, I've played around with it a lot, and it's just, I don't know, it's just not perfect for me. It would be fine, normal driving and everything, but let's say I wanted to take a long trip or something, I probably, you know, wouldn't care for the seat after a certain amount of time. Now it does have a lot of functionality here on the steering wheel, volume for the radio, and then these buttons correspond with the screen. And then you have your cruise control over here. The bottom buttons are for the radio again, so change the audio source and then the tracks here. So yeah, it has the lane keep assist system, the adaptive cruise control, all seems to work fine. Windshield wiper controls here with an automatic function as well, which is the rain sensing system. And then you have your headlight switch on the turn signal stalk, automatic DRL off, and then the fog lights are controlled here. Now the screen here it looks like it needs an oil change. Let's get back out of that. So it shows you can see I've been getting 17 miles per gallon here. And so we have these buttons, left, right. We can go through and get different information here if we want. Let's start at the beginning here. So that's the first one. You can scroll down and get the different information. Go to the right, compass, whatever the radio is doing, and then you have information here about the towing and stuff, tire pressure, that kind of stuff. And then you have your settings, which you can turn on or off things here. You can change the speedometer to a digital, analog, or analog and digital. So we go to digital, analog, or analog and digital. But yeah, it's a pretty cool system. I mean, it's easy to see everything here on the screen. Digital speedometer, and you have a analog style as well. And then you see the battery voltage, the oil pressure, and then the engine coolant temperature, fuel gauge, and then you have the status of the max system and the I-Force system. So basically it has a battery and it has a turbocharger. So this is your battery percentage, and that's the turbo boost here. And then you have the oil and transmission temperatures here. This is the oil pressure, or this is the oil temperature, and that's the transmission temperature basically. Outside temperature, digital clock. So yeah, it has some status of information. Also right here is the adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist system. As you're driving, it'll show information there as well. Trailer brake gain control is here, adjustments. And then this screen, it has the capability for navigation, but you have to install an app on your phone and agree to a bunch of privacy things. So I made a video talking about all the different privacy compromises you have to make in order to get navigation on Toyotas now. So, you know, it's not just a feature of the vehicle, it's a feature that's like part of your phone as well. And then part of that is a huge amount of privacy compromises you have to make in order to do that. You can see if it's worth it for you. Most people will have no problem with it. And then your radios here, and you have different sources. So you have AM, FM, satellite radio, that kind of stuff. And then of course Bluetooth, you can play off your phone, different devices. There's information about your vehicle. And then you have your settings here at the bottom. So it's pretty straightforward. Climate control is here. There's the volume for the radio. And then you have your temperatures for the driver and passenger. You have your heated and cooled seats, a 3-stage for both. You also have the ability to block out the rear passengers. If you don't have any back there, you can focus the climate control here in the front and rear defrosters. You can sync the driver and passenger here. There's the fan speed. You have an automatic function. Change where you want the air to blow if you don't want an automatic. So here is the camera system. You press that button, or you can put it in gear, or you can have an automatic function. I'll show you that in a second. You have the camera's great, but anyways, you have this function here for backing up. Once you set up a trailer, you'll be able to get a little bit of guidance there for backing it up. And then you have the traction control off button. Default is on, but if you need to turn it off, spin tires for whatever reason, you can. Four-way flashers are here. All right, so let's go ahead and skip ahead, and let's go ahead and put this in reverse so I can show you the camera system. Because the camera system is not only really well done, but it also is kind of required for this type of vehicle because the visibility is a little bit limited because of the size and everything. So we have the different views here. We have a front view, a back view, the front sides where it's showing the front tires, the back view where it's showing the rear tires. We have the bed view here. Love that. So yeah, let's go back here, and with the top down as well, kind of stitches them all together. You also have different lines here you can have. And also right here is the automatic button. So if you want this view to automatically pop up when you're going at a very low speed, which I really like, then you can turn that feature on. So let's go ahead and put it, let's go to drive. So yeah, drive, you get the front view. Reverse will give you the back view with the active guidelines and all that stuff. So yeah, really well done. The only thing I can say about this camera system is if I wish the camera was in the very center instead of offset. This center line, this shows you where the center line is. You can tell it's a little slightly offset. So yeah, having the camera in the very center would be great. Okay, so we do have an auto hold function here and an electronic parking brake. And then the shifter, of course we saw reverse, neutral, drive, and you can also up and down shift manually here. It's like a ratchet shifter when you put it in the standard mode. Four-wheel drive controls are here. You have four-wheel drive low, four-wheel drive high, and two-wheel drive high. And then you have a tow and haul mode. You also have the different drive modes here. So as I turn this dial, it shows here on the screen, Eco, Normal, and Sport. Normal is fine. Sport doesn't really add a huge amount, but it gives you a little bit more responsive pedal. But I prefer just the normal. It drives fine either way. Right here is a wireless charger, and my phone is, I guess the phone case is a little bit too thick or something. It doesn't really reliably charge. But yeah, even with the phone case off, it doesn't necessarily reliably charge. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. And it's not just this vehicle, it's pretty much every Toyota that has this type of charger. So it's like it like starts charging and then turns off, and it kind of like goes off and on all the time. So it's not a reliable system. It doesn't really work well from my experience with the Toyota trucks and stuff. You have the cup holders here, little quick access tray here, which you can move out of the way like so you can access stuff underneath it. Another quick access spot. This is kind of rubbery soft here on the sides. We can access those cup holders there. There's a button here on the side, on the end, on both sides. Either one will allow you to release it and lift up this whole thing. And then you have this large compartment. Now the only thing about this compartment is that it's not flat. It just has all these different tiers. So whatever you put in there is, you know, it's basically designed for just small stuff, I guess, because it's gonna like just follow down and, you know, kind of get lodged in there. So if it was just like a big open flat surface, I think it would be more usable. There's a USB-A, USB-C port, and then there's some change holders. Put some coins in there if you like. Now it has a rear view mirror as well as a rear view camera. So there's the rear view mirror, rear view camera. You do have the adjustments here as well. So a lot of different adjustments. You have the home link garage door opener controls here. Place to put your sunglasses or safety glasses up here. Quick reading lights at nighttime. You also have the ability to open up, right here is to open up the back glass. I'll show you that in a minute. It's actually the whole glass in the back opens up. And this is for the sunroof. Interior lights can be turned all on here, all off, or at center position for to turn on with the door. And then you have the mood lighting, which you can turn on or off here. The headliner and the visor is the same black material, and it has a little mirror with a light. It also extends out and gets pretty decent coverage. A little clip here as well. So looking at this sunroof, it has a shade that covers 100% of the light, in which we can move back. You see that back portion is fixed, the front portion moves. So yeah, really nice. Gets a lot of light coming in here. And we can tilt up this right here, tilt it down, and we can slide it back if we want. All right, let me pull it back. It goes a little bit further back if you pull it back more. So yeah, it's a pretty wide opening. So now we can look at that back glass. I can open it up. It goes down quite fast. And raise it. And also looking at the visibility here. See, the pillars aren't that bad as far as the visibility. It's just this huge kind of square truck shape. So here in the front and the sides and everything, just kind of seeing where this huge truck ends and where it begins, that's where the camera really comes in handy. And I'm glad it doesn't have the other mirrors, like the big toe mirrors that are horizontal or vertical. The other mirrors that I've seen on Toyotas just kind of get in the way. This one, actually, these are fine. But yeah, you can see those plastic pieces on the hood just look a little tacked on. There's also a little compartment here with a 12-volt power supply. It's easily overlooked because you can't really see it from your driver position. But I guess that'll be handy for putting gloves, I guess, there. Not sure. Because whatever you put there is going to be in direct sunlight all day, so, and it's really easy to forget about it because it's not visible from the driver's seat. So let me know what you would put there in that compartment. But anyways, especially with a 12-volt power supply, I guess the 12-volt power supply would be good for radar detectors for sure, but as far as just the compartment, not sure. So since we have a hybrid vehicle here, sometimes it's not going to have the engine running. So like right now, it's just electric, which is nothing like a actual electric vehicle. Hybrids are just different, you know. But yeah, there's times in which the engine won't run, and you can, you know, move forward and backward and stuff. But every time I drive a Tundra, I'm reminded of basically the same thing, and that is it feels over encumbered. It feels compared to other full-size trucks, it just feels like the maneuverability and the power and just the movement just feels like it's not, how to say this, like it does have a powerful engine and it does put out a lot of power, right? So it's not necessarily that it struggles in that regard. It just struggles to maneuver and to some degree the power, especially at low RPMs and stuff. You know, it just feels like you're struggling to handle its own weight. And I mean, it has a 1,200 pound payload capacity, right? So we have 1,200 pounds that we can put in not only the passengers, but also the cargo. So if we have a 4-man crew, you know, 200-pound men or whatever, then what we can put in the truck really is like maybe a cooler full of stuff. It really diminishes what you can actually put in the truck. And I wonder if it's just because it's such a big, heavy truck that, you know, it limits what you can actually do with it. So, you know, we're going off on some negatives here. And to me, it's just not the Tundra has never been a truck that I enjoyed driving, you know, compared to other trucks, right? Other like F-150, Ram 1500, that kind of stuff. It's just with just me in it, you know. I don't have any heavy stuff in it or anything. It just feels like I'm driving a big barge, you know, and it's not, and it's like I'm comparing that to other full-size trucks, right? So it's not just this, you know, I'm used to a small car, you know, and then I get in this truck and then it feels like, you know, I'm just comparing it to other full-size trucks. And other full-size trucks, you know, some of them I enjoy driving. This one, it just feels like it's like trying to maneuver through parking lots, and you know, how it handles bumps, and it feels very bouncy and tipsy and stuff like that when I'm going through, you know, areas. Out on the open highway, it's fine, you know, you know, 70 miles an hour on an open highway, not really a problem. You know, it feels good. I probably wouldn't have any trouble, except for the seat comfort. Other than that, it would be probably a good highway vehicle. But just in general, it's one of those, it's a tool basically. You would have to need to haul stuff regularly, and it has the capabilities that you need that are within your needs, right? So like say, or your needs should be within the capabilities of the vehicle. So if you need to, you know, put 2,000 pounds of payload with you know, a full man crew and a bunch of stuff in the back, then this vehicle just can't do that. You know, if you want to put a 1,000-pound bag of sand in the back of this truck and then have a 4-man crew, you can't do it. Actually, you can't even really do it with one person. You know, it depends on how heavy they are. Maybe 1 or 2 people in a 1,000-pound bag of sand in the back can't do it. So, you know, it does have some pretty significant limitations for its size and its weight. It's, you know, I struggle to see the value proposition in a truck like this, you know, compared to other full-size trucks. Like if you need, I don't know, I don't know. There's something that with the Tundra, you know, it's never really sold a huge amount. And I'm assuming this new one probably has sold more than the old one. The old one, you know, kind of got really old. You know, like it was like in production for like 12 years. So at the last few years, like, you know, nobody would want that truck because it's just so old in technology, and you're paying, you know, modern prices for an old technology vehicle, right? And this one it improves to some degree. It definitely improves on the looks and stuff, but it still has that over encumbered feel when you drive it. It just feels like it's gonna collapse upon its own weight, you know. I don't know, something like that feel, you know. So if you're here to validate your purchase decision, then you're probably like mad at me at this point. But yeah, if you haven't driven one of these and you're considering buying one, take it for a test drive. You know, you might have a different perspective than me, and maybe this is what you need for a certain use case. But you know, my perspective is driving a bunch of different vehicles and different trucks and stuff, and then getting in this one and just generally not enjoying driving it, just because it has that feel of just struggling to maneuver, struggling with, you know, just with its own weight. It just has that feel, you know. And I'm sure it's, you know, it's a capable truck and all that stuff, and it's able to haul, and it has, you know, certain capabilities. But, you know, like comparing it to other vehicles, you know, off the top of my head, the F-150 Hybrid Platinum was very enjoyable to drive. It felt very fast and nimble, and it was feature rich, you know. Like it had massage seats, it had, you know, just more useful things inside, you know, and for about the same price, right? So yeah, it was. You check out my video. I made several videos on that truck, and you know, it was fun to drive, and I had a positive experience with it. Had a great sound system, and yeah, it was a interesting experience driving it. You know, I just want to keep on driving it. This truck is one of those type of vehicles, and this happens sometimes where it's like, you know, I drive it a little bit to get an idea, but it's just that the more I drive it, the less I enjoy driving it. So then I, just basically park it because it's like I don't want to get in it. If I have another choice, then I'll take that kind of thing. And the only reason why I'd want to drive this one is if I need to put something in the back of the truck, something big and heavy in the back of the truck. But then, 1,200 pound payload, right? This bounciness to it as you're going through like small areas, it just feels like it's, you have thousands of pounds suspended by these like springs. I know that's basically what vehicles are, but you just kind of feel it, you have this like bounciness and everything. But it's just straight line acceleration. This feels strong. And, all the features like cruise control and all that stuff work fine. But yeah, if I was just like lived right next to a straight highway like this, and I just got on the highway and just took off, and I didn't have to do a lot of maneuvering or anything, then this truck would be fine. This kind of type of road is great because it has the rear view camera up here. We have, we're not focused too close to the vehicle. We're looking far in the distance. And, this type of road isn't very bumpy or anything. So yeah, I would say it's a good highway vehicle. If I was comfortable in the seat for a long period of time, which I'm not. So yeah, a few things to say about it that hopefully doesn't, things to consider, hopefully it's not making people too mad, because I know there's a lot of Toyota people, fans that basically defend Toyota no matter what. But this vehicle, the Tundra in general, for years, has just been hard for me to understand, when I compare it to other vehicles. I hear a little bit of wind noise. There's like no road noise. Handles that well. The only thing I'm hearing really is wind noise. It's a pretty quiet vehicle. I know after, kicking out the foundation of the truck, as far as then the wind noise and little things, probably not as significant. But yeah, I mean, there's certain things that it does well. Camera system, that's well done, which that's, pretty much a lot of Toyotas have that same style of camera. So yeah, let me know what you think. If I'm being too harsh on this vehicle, maybe you have one, maybe you have a different experience with it, maybe you've test driven one. And the thing is, I just drive a lot of different vehicles, and in contrast to those, then that's where it stands out. If you drive this vehicle and this is all you drive, and you don't really have you haven't driven a F-150 hybrid, or you haven't driven a Ram 1500 or something like that, then, or Chevrolet, some of the Chevrolet trucks, then you don't have any comparison. Then it's like, it's easy to think this is good, which it is a good truck. I mean, it's a brand new truck, so it's not like it's a bad thing, right? It's a good truck. It's brand new. It's going to be mostly reliable. So, because Toyota does a decent job as far as reliability. But yeah, it's got plenty of power. So yeah, driving on this type of road, not really a problem. It's not like I don't dislike driving on the highway, that's for sure. If you have this truck, or you have a Tundra, the new Tundra, or if you've driven one, tell me what you like about it. Tell me what the value proposition, what does it do for you that you chose this over other vehicles, other full-size trucks? What is it that made this one stand out, that made you wanted to buy this truck? I'm very curious, because I struggle to find the value proposition when I compare it to other vehicles.